Klosterbrau, Bamberger Bockbier.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got one here from Beer Heaven, and it is the Klosterbrau Bamberger Bockbier. Naturtrube Unfilterite. I think that's how it's pronounced. Is it unfilterite or something? I don't know. I can't speak fucking German. It's basically saying it's cloudy and it's unfiltered. But this is their Bock beer from the Klosterbrau Bamberger. Now, I have not had a beer from this one before, and I would be getting really excited from a beer from Bavaria, which this is. It's from Bamberg, which is a region in, I think it's Franconia, I think that comes from. But I've had two really bad experiences from beer from Bavaria. The Tuka Christmas beer, the Christkindl marked beer. Really sulphurous, horrible flavour. Really didn't like that at all. And there was another one yesterday as well. I can't remember the name of it, but it was not good at all. The two of them had a very similar sulphurous flavour. Now, it's not me getting coronavirus, I'm pretty sure of that, but they had really bad tastes. And this beer is from the same region, and I'm wondering whether there's something going on there with the water, or whether I've just had genuinely two bad beers. Now, I've seen reviews since of the Tuka Christkindl marked, I'll get that name right once, and people are saying how good it is, and do you know what? I'm really not getting that at all, which is a real shame because I love Bavarian beer. It's just, for me, it's just the best beer out there. It's one of my favourite styles of beer, Bavarian beer. It's just got everything going, but even that hasn't stopped them two beers tasting really bad. But I had a message from a mate in Germany today. He sent me a few photos from a beer shop that he was visiting, and he said he basically said this is how serious we take beer in Germany, and these are the pictures. Now, I guarantee you'd never see anything like that over here when it comes to beer, but in Germany they take it really seriously. The price as well of the beer is really astounding. You know, I'll just show you this. Now, that will give you an idea of how cheap you can get a crate of beer over there for. And it's good beer. The dearest beer is the Heineken, for fuck's sake. But I'm going off topic here. I should really be getting back to this beer. This Klosterbrau Bamberg, they are from Bamberg in Bavaria, and they've been going since 1333, which is pretty impressive. I have never had one from this lot before, and this is a Bock beer. And the one I tried the other day, which was quite nice, this one, it's the Greifbock, I should say, or the Griffin Bock. That was quite nice. I didn't mind that. I had another Bock beer, when was that? It was today. And that wasn't really that good. It had that sulphurous taste in it. But the worst one was that Tuka stuff. That really wasn't good at all. So I'm hoping that this stuff isn't going to be too bad. Now, Bock beer, of course, it's a seasonal beer. This is brewed in mid-October, and it's available for this time of year. It's a winter beer. It's normally around this time of year. It's drunk at Christmas, and this is December now, the winter months. That's what Bock beer is designed for. And it's got quite a decent brew sheet. So let's stop gassing about the brewery and this, and let's get on to the beer. Right, this is a 500ml bottle. It is 6.9%. It is pretty hefty in the old alcohol, which you would expect from a Bock beer. Now, Doppelbocks, of course, are, you know, in the 7s. Bock beer can go up to sort of 6.5 normally. This is a little bit over, but it's quite good. The EBUs on this are 29, so it's reasonably bitter, which, when you look at the ingredients, you can get that because it's got Hallertauer, Perla, and Hallertau tradition hops. Now, they're all the Hallertau are noble hops, and it's one of the most common type of hops in Bavaria. But Hallertau is the region in Bavaria, and it's the biggest hop growing region in the world. And the technology that they use there is absolutely fucking mind blowing. It really is. There is a documentary about Hallertau hops on YouTube. It lasts about an hour. Check it out. It is really, really interesting how they've automated the picking and how they are continually striving to get resilient hops and better tasting hops. It really is fascinating. I don't want to go into too much of it here, but seek it out. If you really, you know, if you're a beer geek, check that one out. It really is worth checking out. But the malts in here are quite interesting as well. You've got Pilsner malt, which I'm assuming is your base malt. That's quite a pale malt. Now, it's used a lot in these type of beers. It's got Munich malt, and it's also got caramel malt, which again is really interesting. So I just want to get this tasted now. So let's shut up, get this beer open. Right, flip top cap. There you go. Oh, I love that sound. I've got to save these bottles for me mate. He wants it for his homebrew. He said these are the best bottles for homebrew. So I'm storing them all up for him. I've got a stash of them down there. It's only Germany that really do this now. Grolsch, you don't sort of get over in the UK anymore. You get it on draft. It's fucking terrible stuff. I cannot stand it. Oh, I can smell that from here. And it smells really good. Now again, I want to reiterate that I'm a bit wary about these beers because the last couple of beers from Bavaria have been quite bad. What are we getting on here? I don't know what it is with the water in Franconia, but I just seem to be getting this sulphurous aroma. And it's there again. Oh, fuck off. Please do not do this to me. I got this from a beer shop in Hereford. And it's called, imaginatively, it's called the Hereford Beer House. And this stuff cost me £3.90. And I have to say, I'm getting that sulphurous aroma again. What the fuck just happened there? I don't know whether it's me. I don't know whether it's just something I've never noticed before. But I would have noticed that straight away. It's like a lactobacillus style aroma. Sherbet lactobacillus. And it's very off-putting. Now, I like sour beers, but I don't like that. Oh well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to taste it. Head's dissipated here. It's quite cloudy. Let's get it down the hatch. Zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. Dive in again. That is quite bitter. There is a little bit of that sulphurous, sour taste, which is something that I'm not used to. Now I'm wondering whether this is something that, this is my ignorance of this style of beer, but it's a very, it's got like a sour tinge to it, a sulphurous sour tinge, but this is extra bitter, and I'm wondering whether this is because of the hops. They've boiled them hops to a degree that it's given it quite a bitter style flavour. And the EBUs on this are 29, and that's quite high for a lager. That's right at the end of the scale for a lager. That's right. That's right at the end of the scale for a bottom fermented lager style beer. There is a sweetness on this as well, a honey style sweetness that you get initially on the palate, but the finish is sour and bitter. Doesn't look great either. There's absolutely no head retention whatsoever, and I'm beginning to think that a lot of these beers that I've got from this Hereford beer house, they're from smaller Bavarian brewers, and I'm sort of wondering whether these have got something going on with the fermentation process, where oxygen has got in there and it's given it a, where you get this wild fermentation, unintentional wild fermentation, where there's, oxygen basically has got in and it's soured the beer. And I'm not really sure about this. I can sort of get what it's trying to do. And initially on the palate, you're getting a lovely sweet bread, honey sweetness, Munich Pilsner style sweetness. But the finish, it's just bitter, but there's also a sourness to it. Now the bitterness I can understand, but the sourness, nah. And as I say, you've just got to look at that. I don't think that looks right. It's unfiltered. There is absolutely no head retention on that whatsoever. It's 6.9%, so maybe I can sort of understand that with the high alcohol content. Usually with high alcohol content beers, the head retention isn't there. But that's, again, another disappointing beer. Now, I'm beginning to wonder whether this Hereford beer house has pissed off Bavaria. Have they mentioned the war or something? And they've said, right, let's club together and send them over a load of off beer. Because that is the third beer I've had from them that has been pretty fucking bad. Now, that Bock was pretty good, so I'm not knocking that. That was a pretty good Bock beer. That is what Bock beer is meant to taste like. There is no place for sourness in these style of beers, and this has got that. And to be honest, I can sort of get what it's trying to do, but it's just tinged by that sourness, and I don't like it. So what's the verdict on Klosterbrau Bamberger Bockbier? I'm starting to question whether maybe it's me. I've so far tasted this, the Christkindl marked beer, and the other beer, whose name escapes me. I can't remember what it was. Have I got the bottle here? No, I haven't. Or have I? No, I haven't, unfortunately. But that isn't good. And I'm going to give it Again, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I can see what it's trying to do, but it's got that sourness on it, and that I don't think is supposed to be there. I think it's supposed to be like a Marzen, quite sweet, without the sourness. Now, don't get me wrong, I've tried Keller beer that has got sourness on it, a very, very subtle sourness, but not like that. That's a bit strong. The other, as I say, the other stuff, the Tuka stuff, I think it was the Tuka Helles was the other one. That was a Helles, and that had real strong sulphur on it too, and that wasn't good at all. And I'm starting to think there's something going on with the water in Franconia, or they've pissed off the Hereford Beer House. Either way, this isn't good. It's getting a 4 out of 10. I can't recommend it on what I've been given, and that's unusual for me. Do you know what? I've been giving Bavarian beer really low marks lately, all for the same reason. This off sour flavour. That to me just doesn't look right. I mean, you look at it now, there's no head retention, there's a little bit of carbonation on there, but there is a sourness to it. Nah, 4 out of 10, not recommended. And remember, I'm drinking this shit so you don't have to.